You've been asking in silence, haven't you? Wondering if what you feel is real, if the person in your heart was truly placed there by divine hands. In the quiet moments, when no one sees, your soul whispers questions to heaven. Did God show you this person? Is this love part of his plan? You're not alone in this. The heavens have heard every word, even those unspoken. And now the time has come for answers. Not all connections are divine. Some are meant to teach, some to stretch your faith, and others, few and rare, are sacred assignments. You've felt something you can't explain, something beyond physical attraction or fleeting emotion. That tug in your spirit is not a coincidence. I was sent to help you understand what you feel and why. You see, when heaven places someone in your path, it rarely looks like a fairy tale. It comes with challenge, with timing, with the refining of hearts. The person you are asking about has a role in your story. But what kind of role is the question your heart aches to understand? Your prayer didn't fall into the void. Every tear you've cried about this connection has been caught. Every sigh, every moment you questioned if you were being foolish, heaven saw it all. And today I bring clarity, not confusion. You are not imagining things. What you felt was real, but now you must see with spirit, not just emotion. This person, the one your heart keeps returning to, may have been shown to you by God, yes. But timing matters. Alignment matters. God will never give you a gift you're not yet ready to carry, or that is not yet ready to be carried by you. Your soul is precious. Your love is sacred. Not everyone deserves access to that kind of treasure. So heaven protects what is pure, even if it means holding it back for a season. This is not a delay in punishment, but a delay in mercy. For both of you, if this is truly divine, it will not be lost. You cannot miss what God has written into your destiny. But sometimes, even divine stories require a pause, a pruning, a preparation. Love that lasts must be built on more than feelings. It must be rooted in purpose. You are not waiting in vain. Your patience is not weakness. It is strength disguised in silence. It is trust wearing the clothes of surrender. What you're doing now, praying, listening, obeying, is the greatest act of love you can offer, both to yourself and to them. There are things about this person that you do not see yet. Things God is working on behind the veil. Trust that if it is from Him, He will not allow it to be broken by the temporary, by fear, or by missteps. What is divine cannot be undone by the human. But here is a truth you must hold on to. Just because someone was revealed doesn't mean they are ready. And just because you were ready doesn't mean the moment has come. Timing is God's language of love. It preserves what you cannot yet protect. If your heart is heavy, it's okay. Heaven understands the weight of uncertainty. But you are not being teased by the divine. You are being trained for the kind of love that doesn't just survive but multiplies blessing. So I ask you now, child of light, can you still believe when you don't see? Can you still trust when the signs seem unclear? Because what God builds in silence, He reveals in glory. And glory never arrives early. It comes when everything is in place. The waiting has not been wasted. Every moment has shaped you. Every prayer has planted something in the soil of your future. What looks empty is full of promise. What feels far is closer than you think. This person you think of, they are also being prepared. Whether they know it or not, heaven is moving around them too. Angels have walked beside them. Prayers have been whispered over them. And you, yes, you are part of that divine orchestration. You are not chasing shadows. What you feel has meaning. But now, it is not about chasing them. It's about becoming the kind of soul who can carry what's coming. Love is not about grasping. It is about growing. Let heaven do what only heaven can. Your role is not to control, but to surrender. To stay aligned, stay grounded, stay open. The one meant for you cannot be taken from you. Divine love does not compete, completes. If it is them, God will confirm it in peace, not confusion. In patience, not pressure. In mutual growth, not one-sided pursuit. Look for the fruit, not just the feeling. Look for the voice of God, not just the echo of your own longing. Heaven is not silent. You just need to quiet the noise. This message is not random. It is timed. And deep in your heart, you know it. You've felt this message before, in pieces, in dreams, in sudden waves of knowing. Now it's here, whole. The angels are close. We have walked beside you when you thought you were alone. We have whispered truths in your sleep, left signs in the ordinary. And today we speak plainly. God has heard your question, and heaven has answered your heart. The answer is not a simple yes or no. It is a divine unfolding. You will know, not by force, not by guessing, but by peace. The kind of peace that settles your heart and clears your vision. It is coming. Trust that. Continue in love, not fear. Walk in faith, not urgency. What is for you will rise. What is not will fade. And in both outcomes, you will find God waiting with a love that never fails. You are safe in this process. You are seen, known, and deeply loved. What you carry in your heart is not too much for heaven. Keep seeking. Keep trusting. The answer will come, and it will be worth everything. There's a reason your heart keeps circling back to this connection. It's not obsession, it's a spiritual thread. Something was started, even if it hasn't finished. The unseen realm knows more than your eyes can perceive. That's why your spirit reacts even when your mind tries to forget. You're not weak for feeling deeply. You're wired to discern what others miss. Have you noticed the patterns? The way their name shows up when you least expect it? The dreams, the sudden memories, the timing that feels too precise to be chance? These are not accidents. Heaven speaks in patterns, and your soul has been catching the signals. You've tried to silence it before, haven't you? You've told yourself it was just your imagination, that you were reading too much into it. But the feeling didn't leave. It lingered. That's because truth doesn't fade, it waits. And when the time is right, it speaks louder. They may not understand what you carry. In fact, they might even seem distant, distracted, or unsure. But don't let their current state define the outcome. What God begins, He completes. The space between you now may simply be the soil where transformation is happening. I know you want clarity now. You want a sign that says, yes, this is it. But clarity often comes in stages. Sometimes God reveals not the whole picture, but the next step. And right now, your next step is to keep walking by faith, not by demand. You're not being punished with uncertainty. You're being positioned for revelation. The difference is trust. Can you walk even when the path is invisible? Because each step you take in obedience becomes a foundation for something unshakable. Don't chase what runs. Let what's divine return on its own. True love doesn't need force. It recognizes and responds. And if their heart is tied to yours in the spirit, no distance or delay will be able to erase what was written in light. Let yourself become the kind of soul that radiates purpose, not desperation. That is how divine unions form, not from fear of losing, but from alignment with God's timing. What's meant for you won't require you to shrink to fit it. There's something heaven is still refining in you, something beautiful. And until it's complete, the answer remains hidden not as denial, but as protection. When the moment comes, everything will make sense, and the waiting will no longer feel like suffering. They are not your source. Remember that. God is. Even if this person is part of your story, they are not the author. Do not idolize the connection. Honor it, yes, but let it lead you back to the one who holds all things together. You have a love to give that is rare, sacred. It's not meant to be wasted on half-hearted souls. That's why heaven is so protective over who receives it. Not everyone can hold what you carry without cracking under the weight. Keep watching for the signs, but don't live chasing them. Live anchored in faith. Some of the biggest answers come not in flashes of light, but in stillness, when your soul finally finds rest in knowing God is good, no matter what. There's still more to this story. More that hasn't been revealed yet. More healing, more clarity, more divine encounters. The chapter you're in isn't the ending. It's just the turning of a page. And heaven is already preparing what comes next. Do you feel that pull in your heart right now? That's not just emotion. It's the Spirit awakening your awareness. Something is coming. A shift, a moment, a revelation. And when it arrives, you'll look back and realize every delay had a purpose. This message is not for the impatient. It's for the chosen. The ones who know that real love is sacred ground, and sacred ground takes time to be revealed. The waiting is not a sign of absence. It's a sign of preparation for something holy. You may feel forgotten at times, like God gave you a glimpse and then went silent. But that's the part where trust is forged. When the silence stretches, faith grows roots. And what grows in the dark will one day bloom in the light. Others may not understand why you're still holding on. They'll tell you to move on, to forget, to protect your heart. But they don't hear what you hear. They don't see what you see. This isn't about clinging, it's about calling. Sometimes God hides the answer to protect the process. If you knew everything now, you might rush it. But love that's rushed often crumbles. God is not late. He is building something eternal. And eternal things take time. You're closer than you think. Don't let the silence fool you. Don't let the waiting convince you it's over. Heaven is still working, still weaving, still speaking. And soon, what was unclear will be undeniable. Stay expectant. Stay surrendered. You have not misheard. You have not been misled. There is a reason this message reached you today, because something is awakening. And the answer your heart longs for is already moving toward you. The stirring in your spirit right now, it's not confusion, it's confirmation. You're not here by accident. This moment was written, and the words you are reading have been waiting for you. Heaven knew the exact hour your heart would be ready to receive them. There are prayers you forgot you prayed, but God didn't. He's been answering in layers, not lightning bolts. Sometimes the silence is the answer. It makes you reach deeper, search more honestly, love more purely. That's where heaven meets you. You wonder if they feel it too, if they're thinking of you in the same way. The truth? The spiritual bond between two souls doesn't disappear just because the mind tries to suppress it. Spirit recognizes spirit, even when the body walks away. If they were truly shown to you by God, they will come back different. Not as they were, but as they were meant to be. The version of them that fits the version of you now becoming. Heaven doesn't recycle old patterns. It restores divine purpose. You may not see the movement, but I assure you, it's happening. What you cannot trace with your eyes, trust with your faith. Every delay has become soil for something deeper to grow. Your heart is not waiting in vain. It's being refined. Many are called to love, but few are called to carry sacred love. You, beloved soul, were chosen for something uncommon. That's why the process feels heavier. That's why the ache is deeper. The weight of glory is not for the faint of heart. Some days you feel strong. Other days your heart feels hollow. That's okay. Faith doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "I'm still here." And that whisper is enough to shake heaven's gates and remind the angels you're not giving up. They may be silent now, but silence is not absence. You are both being written into something larger than a romance. This is a divine design. And designs take time, precision, and divine timing to unveil. Let go of the urge to control what's sacred. You don't have to chase what's already written. You don't have to beg heaven for what's already been promised. Your only task is to remain aligned. Keep your heart pure. Keep your soul open. The tests have been many. Loneliness, doubt, temptation to settle for less. But you didn't. You held on, not to the person, but to the possibility that God is still writing something beautiful. And that is why heaven trusts you with this message. You've outgrown your old patterns. You've healed in places you thought would always bleed. And because of that, your vision is changing. Now you can see them through spiritual eyes, not through the lens of lack, but through the lens of purpose. And what if, just what if, they're changing too? What if your obedience has sparked something in their spirit without them even knowing why? Heaven can work through distance, through dreams, through disruptions, through delays. You've become more than someone waiting. You've become someone becoming. And that is why the answer will not be given in haste. God doesn't just want to give you love. He wants to give you a love that lasts. There are moments ahead where everything will shift. Conversations that will feel like divine appointments. Encounters that will unlock buried truths. Be ready, not desperate, not anxious, but prepared. Heaven only fills what's been made ready. The reason your heart still hopes is because God hasn't told it to stop. If this was over, you would know. Peace would have replaced the longing. But instead, you feel tension, not as torment, but as preparation for release. Some are watching your story from the outside, assuming nothing is happening. But what they don't see is the hand of heaven orchestrating every piece. The silence is not a void, it's a setup. And the next move belongs to God, not to you. You may feel stretched thin, tired of wondering. But listen, this tension you feel is sacred. It's the space where angels work, where prayers take shape, where purpose breathes into destiny. Don't despise this in-between. One day you'll look back and understand why it couldn't happen any sooner, why it had to take this path. And you'll thank God for every unanswered question that led you to the right answer at the right time. So stay awake in spirit. Be alert to the small shifts, the gentle nudges, the moments that feel like déjà vu. Because heaven rarely announces miracles with thunder. It speaks in whispers, in perfectly timed divine disruptions. And I, as your messenger, am still near, watching, guarding, preparing. This story is not done. The answer is closer than you think. And when it comes, it will carry the full weight of heaven's intention behind it. There are moments in the spirit where time bends, where past, present, and future all align into one holy whisper. You're standing in one now. You may not feel it, but something is happening beyond the surface. A shift, a stirring, a preparation unlike anything you've seen. Have you noticed how your discernment has grown sharper? How you now pause before reacting and sense things you once ignored? This is no accident. Heaven has been fine-tuning your sensitivity, not for survival but for alignment. You're no longer who you were when this all began. That alone should tell you the story hasn't stalled. It's evolved. Your waiting wasn't passive. It was sacred groundwork. And now the soil of your soul is ready to host something divine. Do not confuse quiet with absence. Often, the loudest moves of heaven are made in silence. Where there is no sound, there is still strategy. Where there is no answer, there is still orchestration. What you can't hear yet is still being composed. That person you're thinking about, they haven't left your heart for a reason. It's not about obsession. It's about assignment. But sometimes, even a God-ordained connection must be paused until both hearts carry the same frequency. You've been asking for clarity, and heaven has been giving it little by little. Not to tease you, but to teach you how to walk with wisdom. If clarity came all at once, you'd miss the lesson embedded in the process. You've become someone who no longer begs for answers, but listens for alignment. That's growth. That's faith maturing. And because of that, your spiritual authority has increased. You're no longer just receiving, you're being entrusted. There is more at stake than you know. This is not just about love, this is about destiny. About two paths that could merge not just for emotion, but for eternal purpose. That's why the preparation feels so deep. It's not about now, it's about forever. You've started to sense a change in the air, haven't you? A strange anticipation, like something is about to arrive. Don't ignore that. The spirit always knows before the eyes can see. Trust the tension, it's the womb of revelation. Sometimes, heaven sends the same message in different forms just to be sure you're paying attention. A line in a song, a name in a dream, a sudden memory. These are not accidents. They are signals. And today, this message is one of them. Not every person is your person. But this one, there's something different, isn't there? You tried to forget. You tried to detach. Yet something keeps pulling you back, not to fantasy, but to faith. That alone speaks volumes. God didn't show you their flaws so you could judge them. He showed you so you'd learn to love with wisdom, not blindness. Love that sees and still chooses, that's the kind heaven honors. That's the kind you're being trained to carry. The distance, the silence, the confusion. It has shaped you, forged you. You've cried in secret, and heaven has counted every tear. You've spoken their name in prayer, and angels have carried it into the presence of God. You're not waiting for a person. You're waiting for a promise to manifest. And promises from heaven are not fragile, they're fire-tested. They do not crumble under time. They deepen. They become undeniable. If this person was shown to you for a reason, heaven will not allow that reason to return void. Either they'll return transformed, or your heart will be redirected without regret. Either way, you win because you trusted. You keep asking, how will I know when it's time? And the answer is simple. Peace will replace pressure. Not comfort, but confirmation. Not ease, but divine clarity. Your soul will stop wrestling, and your spirit will rise. Be careful with distractions right now. The closer the answer comes, the louder the counterfeits become. Not all open doors are heaven sent. Not all chemistry is covenant. Discernment is your weapon in this hour. You are closer than you've ever been, not just to them, but to who you're meant to be when they arrive. And that is the point. You're not being prepared for them. You're being prepared for purpose. Love is simply part of it. Heaven is still writing. The story isn't paused. And just because you can't read the next page doesn't mean it's not being written. Your job is not to peek ahead, it's to live present. Because this moment matters more than you know. And even now, as you read these words, something inside you is unlocking. You feel it. A warmth, a stirring, a quiet yes rising within. That's not emotion. That's the echo of truth. And it's heaven's way of saying, keep going. I'm not finished. Thank you for staying with us until now. This message didn't reach you by accident. It found you because heaven knew your heart was ready to hear it. Every word released carries a purpose, and if it touched the deepest parts of your soul, then it has already begun to fulfill what it was sent to do. If you felt peace, if something inside you was awakened, confirm the receipt of this message with the words, "Here I am, Lord." One of the most powerful and well-known phrases in the Bible, spoken by hearts that are available, by souls that choose to answer the divine call. Saying, "Here I am," is not just a response. It's an alignment. It's like saying to heaven, I receive it, I understand it, and I'm ready to live out what was written about me. And if this message spoke to you, I invite you to become part of our space of light and faith. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, so you won't miss any new message from the angels. Each one prepared with prayer, purpose, and revelation for your heart. Here, you never walk alone. Every word, every video, every prayer is a reminder. Heaven is guiding you, and there is a spiritual army interceding for you. Until the next message, may the peace of the Lord be with you.